Hello, welcome to the session. Let's get started with SAC planning. SAC planning is not just about entering numbers. It's about defining business drivers, controlling versions, simulating scenarios, and translating operational decisions into financial outcomes. Before we get into the technical parts, let's pause for a moment and align on one simple question. What do we actually mean by planning in SAP Analytics Cloud? When we talk about planning, we are not talking about analyzing what is already happened. That's reporting. Planning is about looking forward. It's about asking questions like what do we expect to happen next year? What if sales grow by 10%? What if cost increases? SAP Analytics Cloud provides us a structured way to answer these questions instead of guessing or maintaining multiple spreadsheets. We model future outcomes in a single controlled system. Now, to make all this work, SAC planning is built using a few core components. Think of these as building blocks. Once you understand them, everything else starts to make sense. First, we have planning models. This is where the structure lives. Things like time, accounts, cost center, products, and the measures we plan on. Then we have versions. Versions allow us to separate actuals, budgets, forecasts, and simulations, all within the same model. Stories are where users actually interact with the plan. This is where planners enter data, review numbers, and analyze results. And finally, we have data actions, which automate calculations, copying, and complex planning logic. Almost everything you build in SAC planning is some combination of these elements. If you have done planning before, chances are you have used Excel, and that experience is exactly what SAC planning exists. In Excel based planning, data is usually spread across many files, formulas, or manually maintained, and version control is, let's say, challenging. SAP Analytics Cloud takes a very different approach. All planning data sits in a central model. Calculations are defined once and applied consistently. Instead of emailing spreadsheets back and forth, users work on the same data in real time. There is also built in auditability, version tracking, and security, things that are extremely hard to manage in Excel. So rather than replacing Excel completely, SAC brings structure, governance, and scalability to the planning process. Driver based planning. One of the most important concepts you will hear throughout this course is driver based planning. The idea here is simple. Instead of planning final numbers directly, we plan the drivers that actually influence these numbers. For example, revenue is not just a random figure, it's usually driven by quantity and price. Costs might be driven by headcount, number of hours, volume, or utilization. When you change a driver, SAC automatically recalculates the outcome. This makes planning faster, more transparent, and far more realistic. SAP Analytics Cloud is designed around this concept, and you will see it repeatedly when we build models and data actions. Another key design choice in planning is granularity. In other words, how detailed your plan should be. In SAC, planning usually happens at a very detailed level. For example, monthly data by product and by cost center. The good news is you don't need separate models for monthly, quarterly, and yearly planning. SAC handles aggregation or roll up automatically through hierarchies. This allows us to plan bottom up, top down, or a mix of both. Choosing the right level of detail is important. Controlled planning flows. Planning in an enterprise environment is not just about flexibility, it's all about control. SAP Analytics Cloud provides governance features that ensure planning remains reliable and auditable. Versions help track different planning cycles. Data locking prevents completed periods from being changed accidentally. And role-based security ensures users only access the data they are responsible for. All of this supports a controlled planning flow. where many users can collaborate without compromising data quality. This balance between collaboration and control is a major strength of SAC planning. So what you will build in this course? We are not just going to talk about concepts, we are going to build real planning scenarios step by step. You will create planning models, define versions, and design planning stories. We will work through examples like cost center planning, revenue planning, and margin analysis. You will also learn how to automate logic using formulas and calculations. By the end of this course, you will be able to design and support enterprise-grade planning solutions in SAP Analytics Cloud with confidence. With that foundation in place, let's move on to the next lecture to look at SAC license types and what planning capabilities are available in each license. Once that is clear, we will move into hands-on modeling and start building our first planning model.